welcome to the Shay On You Podcast. Woo, okay. I wanted to see. There's trigger warnings. Let's go ahead and get that on out the way. There will be trigger warnings. There will be a lot of things going on here during this video that we're gonna put together. Because one thing about it is what we're not gonna do is trying to downplay how we got here. What we're not gonna do, Roland Martin, is try to shift the conversation to what this really is. I believe some people don't know what really this is. And to me, in my opinion, because everyone has one, is that this is the downfall of a person who walked around like he was the head nigga in charge. Oh, yes. You didn't know that? And I have put together videos to show such thing. When you have a person who just happened to be a black man who was at the highest level and was going to go further, everybody knew his name. Like Cheers. You walk up in the joint, everybody knew his name. But the downfall is what he could not wrap his mind around. When you've been told pretty much all your life you a king, when you have been told all your life that your shit don't stink, when you have been told all your life that the world revolves around you, and when it stops, he couldn't handle it. Justin Fairfax is who we're talking about. Y'all saw the thumbnail. Hold on. Wait a minute. Yeah. Y'all saw the thumbnail. We're talking about Justin Fairfax, the head nigga in charge. So what we're going to do is we are going to start at the very beginning of how did we get here? Yeah, Deborah Cox. How did we get here? Okay, so that's what we're going to do. I got a video ready. I'm not sure how long it's going to be, but I'm going to be stopping at things. How did we get here?
They came forward back in February after some lawmakers called on Virginia Governor Ralph Northam to resign over a racist yearbook photo.
Now, baby, hold on. That yearbook photo, listen. Yeah, this is how it started. This right here with this man right here. Okay? The racist yearbook photo. I'm not even sure if this was, I think, college or something. You see how far back? Politics is dirty. I done a video years ago. I have no problem bringing up out of the archives of me talking about how dirty politics is when Marilyn Mosby was going through her bullshit. Did a video on that. Show did. And I talked about how dirty politics is when it doesn't matter what side it is, Democrat or Republican or independent or whatever. When they feel that you are getting in their way regarding whatever, goal that they set for themselves, oh, they start going through yearbooks back in college and high school and all this kind of nonsense. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. So, and that's what they did to this man on your screen. Baby, when I saw that, when it first broke, I was like, that's the darkest Aladdin I've ever seen. Aladdin had probably number 12 or whatever it is in Fashion Fair Foundation, huh? Yes, Fashion Fair. Cause Maybelline does not have a color that freaking dark. I haven't seen it, at least not back in the day. Baby, that skin was so dark. I'm like, ooh, that looked like that nice Fashion Fair, the deep collection. That's how dark that this man made himself to be Aladdin. And that's the black face that they're talking about. It wasn't him dressed up as a slave. No, he dressed up as, Fafar or whomever that whoever that character is, riding the magic carpet of Aladdin. That's the black face that they talking about. This is where it started, okay? All right.
Now, if Northam had resigned, Fairfax would have likely replaced him. Fairfax denies the women's allegations. Tyson's in Fairfax. They came
Okay.
forward back.
Okay. That's enough. That's how we got here. That's how we got here. Okay. Aladdin with that fashion fair deep collection. And then when the people who can I call they? Because the organizations that didn't want to see this governor on your screen to be up in there, and they looked to see who would take this man's place, and they said hell to the no.
Back in February after
Hold on,
some
let's get
lawmakers
it back
called
to
on Virginia Governor Ralph Northam to resign over a
Ralph.
racist yearbook photo. Now, if Northam had resigned, Fairfax would have likely replaced him.
And boom, there we have it. The powers that be say, I know you lying. Oh, we're not gonna have no Negro. We are no. We ain't have no Negro up in there. We are not about to have no Negro all up and through the Virginia area. So they did what they couldn't find on Obama. They couldn't find no binders full of women on Obama. However, they found enough women to shake a tree. Yet there was a tree that these organizations be shaking. Because here's the thing, these people know if we can't find no women, we may can find a few men. Okay. Okay, we may be able to find, some women. And that's what they found in this Justin Fairfax case. As I said, I don't know where. I mean, is there a publication that says if you have anything crazy on Justin Fairfax, please call this number? I mean, what did they really do to find these women? Because I refuse to believe that in his whole total life, he was only or wrangled up with 2 women. Okay, but that's what happened. That's how we got here. This is the very beginning. Mr. Aladdin on down there with the fashion fair deep collection. Those people looked around, which obviously they were prepared, and said, "Oh, we're not gonna have this uppity nigger up in there taking over from this governor who we trying to get up out of there." So here come the women, as Mitt Romney would say, his binders full of women. See, this goes way back, honey. If you know binders full of women, then you are on the right channel. Okay, you're on the right YouTube channel. Okay, now let's go next. Is that how we got here? Now we're going to go to. I really wanted to. Let's go to what he said. Okay, because there is a portion out of this video that I'm doing for you that I don't feel like getting into. And there were interviews done by these 2 women who accused Justin Fairfax of assault when he was, I believe, in his 20s. Okay, this man on your screen is about 47. Young when it comes to politics. Young. This is you starting out. You're getting your feet foundation. And unfortunately, we all know how some men are during their 20s. Oh, they running through women's. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And that's what I felt, that this is what happened to Justin Fairfax. He was at those conventions as a young man. He, shit don't stink. Smiling up in these women's faces. I think one of them or 2 of them were one night stand, honey. And she came on out. Anywho, I'm not blaming the women at all. I'm just saying the full picture of what happened with these women. Young man in his 20s running through them women's folks and things. Let's hear what he had to say before I go on. Okay, this is what he had to say, y'all. Let's go.
His full remarks.
Over the past 48 hours, 2 women have spoken on national television about allegations they have made against me based on events of nearly 15 and 20 years ago. These allegations, if true, would be incredibly serious. Because they are not true, however, they are incredibly hurtful to me and my family and my reputation, which I've spent a lifetime building. I believe that anyone willing to come forward with allegations of sexual misconduct should be heard fairly and fully, taken seriously, and treated respectfully. It is very important for truth to be established, and where sexual assault has in fact occurred, for resources and assistance to be provided to survivors. As the person accused, I also deserve to be treated fairly, seriously, and respectfully. A just society requires fairness and due process. In that regard, I do not believe that national television appearances or legislative hearings are the right vehicles to get at the truth. Sensationalizing allegations does not make them true. Yet airing salacious allegations without any evidence does enormous damage. In an effort to ensure that there is a fair, serious, and respectful process, I have taken 2 steps that I believe will help provide clarity. First, as described below, I voluntarily submitted to a polygraph test by a nationally respected polygrapher with regard to the allegations of each accuser. I passed each of those tests on the very first try. Today, I am providing the full report of the polygraph experts' report to the public. Second, also as described further below, my attorney has, at my direction, requested that the prosecutors in Boston, Massachusetts, and in Durham, North Carolina, launch an investigation of these allegations, and I've offered my full cooperation. I will answer any and all questions, and I am willing to do so under oath and under penalty of perjury. Over the years, I have built a reputation as a committed public servant. Both as a federal prosecutor and as lieutenant governor, I have stood up for women and victims of criminal behavior. Make no mistake, if the facts alleged by Dr. Tyson and Ms. Watson were true, the conduct would be criminal. Such conduct is against everything I have stood for in both my public and private life. In my 40 years, no one has ever alleged that I have ever done anything like what either of these women described. Allegations that were both first made public at the very moment that it appeared I might become governor of this great Commonwealth. While these allegations simply are not true, I cannot begin to tell you the pain that these false allegations have caused me and my family. My family and the life we have built together mean the world to me. It pains me more than I can express for my wife and young children to have to hear these false allegations. I do not want these false allegations to give reason for Virginians to doubt my ability to serve them effectively. I've asked for this opportunity to speak today because I want the people of Virginia, who honored me by electing me as their lieutenant governor, to know that their trust was well placed. That is why I must take additional steps to clear my name. I'm here today to make sure that people hear about what actually occurred. Many years ago, when I was 25 years old and Dr. Tyson was 28 years old, we had a consensual encounter. Years before that, when I was 21 years old and in college, I had a consensual encounter with Meredith Watson. First, let me speak to the allegation by Dr. Vanessa Tyson. In 2004, during the summer, while I was still a student in law school, I was on the staff of Senator John Edwards of North Carolina, who was then the Democratic nominee for Vice President of the United States. I traveled with Senator Edwards to the Democratic National Convention in Boston. While Dr. Tyson has stated definitively that she met, interacted, and had a conversation with me in Boston on July 26, 2004, the first day of the convention, in fact, Senator Edwards and I were not in Boston on that date. We did not arrive to Boston from North Carolina until the following day. After I arrived, I met Dr. Tyson in passing. She was a volunteer at the convention. As young adults and students, we spent time together talking. I invited her to my hotel room where we engaged in completely consensual activity. I have heard Dr. Tyson say that I held her neck and physically forced her to engage in sexual contact. That is simply not true. What she alleges never happened. At no time did I force any contact. And she has also said that she was visibly upset and crying. That also is not true. At no time was she crying, or did she express any concern, reluctance, or discomfort. Her demeanor never changed throughout the entire encounter. We engaged in friendly banter after leaving the room. Dr. Tyson has said that after our encounter, we had no further contact. That too is not true. In fact, she reached out to me more than once after the convention had ended, and we spoke several times in the weeks after the convention. In fact, at one point, Dr. Tyson left me a message asking me if she could visit me in New York City, where I had returned to school at Columbia Law School, and even invited me to meet her mother. I did not respond, and our relationship did not continue. Through it all, I had no reason to believe that she felt that our interaction in Boston was anything other than 100% consensual. As regards Ms. Watson, I knew Meredith Watson when we were both in college at Duke University. We had many mutual friends and saw each other often. While she and I had never previously had a physical or romantic relationship, we were friendly with each other. On one occasion late in my senior year, in the year 2000, she initiated a consensual encounter with me. I did not rape or sexually assault Meredith Watson. I did not lock the door. I did not turn out the lights. I did not hold her down or use any physical force whatsoever. We were both willing participants. After that encounter, I saw her on occasion when we were with mutual friends. At no time before, during, or after our encounter did she ever say or do anything that suggested to me in any way that she believed, that she thought anything that happened between us was something she had not wanted or that she was uncomfortable with. Ms. Watson has alleged that we later had a conversation about the encounter where I supposedly raised the fact that she had previously accused a Duke basketball player of raping her, and therefore I thought she would, quote unquote, be too afraid to report another assault. No version of that conversation ever occurred. I knew that the allegations made against me were false from the moment I first heard them. That is why I denied them. Because I was confident that what I was saying was true, I voluntarily submitted to 2 separate polygraph examinations with respect to the allegations made by Dr. Tyson and the allegations made by Ms. Watson. I passed both tests on the first try. When I announced that I had passed the polygraph examinations, people asked whether I was willing to release the full results to the world. I am happy to do so. Today, I am providing the full report of my polygraph examinations to the media and the public so that all Virginians can read the report themselves. They will see that the accounts of what happened, both with Dr. Tyson and with Ms. Watson, that I have provided today are the same as what I said in the polygraph examinations. They will also see the exams determined that I was telling the truth. But I have gone further than taking and passing polygraph examinations. I have said from the beginning that the allegations made by Dr. Tyson and Ms. Watson are allegations of crimes and should be treated as such. That is why I have repeatedly asked for an investigation by law enforcement professionals. Because of the nature of these allegations, they should be assessed by professional law enforcement investigators who have the tools and the training to determine whether or not the allegations are true. Therefore, at my direction, my attorney has contacted the district attorney's office in Boston, Massachusetts, and the district attorney's office in Durham, North Carolina. Each would have jurisdiction over these alleged crimes. My attorney has asked each office to launch an investigation of these allegations if they have not done so already. I am confident that these highly professional and experienced law enforcement officers are committed to treating accusers fairly, seriously, and respectfully, while also treating the accused fairly and ascertaining the truth or falsity of these allegations. My attorney has made clear to both offices that I will cooperate fully in these investigations and has told each office that I will make myself available to them to answer any and all questions they might have, including under oath and penalty of perjury. When all of the facts and evidence are examined by unbiased law enforcement professionals, I am confident that they will reach the same conclusion that was reached by one of the nation's leading polygraph experts, that I am telling the truth. I did not assault Vanessa Tyson. I did not assault Meredith Watson. I look forward to clearing my good name. More importantly, I look forward to being able to be a husband and a father without having my loved ones read and hear false accusations about me. And I look forward to going back to work for the people of Virginia, who I'm honored to serve. I'm now going to continue my work as Lieutenant Governor and President of the Senate of Virginia. Thank you all so much for coming today, and God bless you all.
Okay. I wanted to play that full video so we have a foundation of what we are about to see going forward. You see, Justin was trying to do everything to clear his name because he felt obviously there was some type of, it's a he said, she said type of thing. Why are they believing the women and not him? How come he's not getting his due process, et cetera, and et cetera, and et cetera. That's what Justin was painfully trying to do back then, was clear his name. And you are going to hear that again in another video after this whole motor suicide. Okay? He knew, because during that time where that governor was in blackface, there were other issues of the Me Too. This is all up through there. He wasn't the only one who got touched by the Me Too broomstick. Okay? Unfortunately, these are the tactics that are played in politics. It's dirty. And Justin got caught up in the dirtiness of the politics. I just did a video regarding Eric Schwalwell and another person who just recently resigned from the United States Senate. Eric Schwalwell, regarding business just like this. So this is going to be an ongoing thing when it comes to politics and trying to kick these people out who they don't like or who getting in the way. And Justin got caught up in there, unfortunately. However, how he handled it in his personal mental health is obviously the difference. So this is not a white-black thing. No, this is just a people thing at this point. Because there's been too many men who have been hit with the same stick that Justin was hit, but he, for some reason, could not mentally handle it. Okay, so I provided you with the foundation as of what did he say regarding the allegations that was put upon him. He wanted to clear his name. Okay, we did a video. How did we get here? So we laying the foundation so no one's lost. Once we get to another segment here, when we really break it down. All right. So let's go to the divorce. Okay. What did the judge say? As the judge of the divorce, what did he say? So we're about to go over what did the judge say. Okay. All right. Let's see. What did he say?
On March 30th, a Fairfax County judge ordered Justin Fairfax to move out of the home he shared with his wife and their 2 teenage children by April 30th.
Certainly a traumatic event for those children to live through.
Exactly 2 weeks before that date, police say Fairfax murdered his wife and then killed himself inside that home in Northern Virginia. Inside this custody order written by Judge Timothy McAvoy, extensive details about the state of the couple's marriage, the former Virginia Lieutenant Governor's mental state, and his relationship with his children leading up to the murder-suicide. According to court records, the judge wrote it was difficult to imagine the degree to which Fairfax's world must have been damaged by sexual assault allegations made by 2 women who he knew when he was a much younger man. He described Fairfax as an ascendant political figure on the cusp of making a credible run for governor of Virginia, and these allegations appear to have put an end to those plans. He said it was clear the trauma experienced by Fairfax related to those allegations had not been fully processed, and the isolation, drinking, and lack of participation in family life were manifestations of what seems to be a sense of fatalism and hopelessness. Records show that since leaving the lieutenant governor's office in 2022, Fairfax cloistered himself inside of his home office, used alcohol heavily, and withdrew from his family. The court found Fairfax's wife, Dr. Serena Fairfax, had been the primary caregiver for both children for almost their entire lives and in all respects. She was the planner, scheduler, the caretaker, the cook, the disciplinarian, the primary nurturer. She performed all those roles while also working part-time as a dentist in her own dental practice, and it appeared she was the primary earner at the time. Judge McAvoy credited the children's resilience and early successes in life to their mother's grit. The custody order also states evidence showed that in 2022, Fairfax purchased a handgun with money intended for his children's horseback riding lessons, and at some point left the home with the gun and some clothes in a suitcase. When frantic family members ultimately tracked him down at a park near their home, they were unable to calm him down for several hours, and ultimately a mental health professional had to be called. The judge said there was no evidence Fairfax was seeking professional help, and he had little confidence he could accurately assess himself. He ended by saying that he thought that Justin Fairfax had it within him to be a great dad, but he first must want to be one before granting Dr. Serena Fairfax primary custody.
Okay. You heard it. You heard it. You heard probably more from this video than you probably hear anywhere else. That man was already suicidal. That was 4 years. 2022 was when they got him up out of there. We're in 2026. There's almost 4 years that he could not get himself together. Wasn't working, wasn't bringing in any money. And we know that because Roland Martin's about to let us know too. He couldn't even get work from an attorney. He didn't go to school to be an attorney. He went to school to be a politician. Let's be clear. You have attorneys who go to school to be lawyers, and you have attorneys who go to school to be politicians. Let's be clear. Justin Fairfax was on, I'm being a politician. This little, JD, it looks good. But I want to be governor. He was on the road to be president of the United States, to run for president of the United States. This is all stepping stones. And he got knocked down. He got knocked all the way down to where he was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. There was no plan B for Justin. Justin did not make himself a plan B. His plan A was to be governor and then run for president. Because that's what the Democratic Party was setting him up to be, which is not wrong with it. However, Justin had no plan B if all of that went to shit. And when it went to shit, he could not bounce back. After 4 years, how much can a spouse take to say you have 4 years to try to get you some help? You had over 4 years to actually try to contribute to your children. He could not bounce back. So how in the world is his support system, his frat brothers, his friends, is supposed to help him when he can't even help himself? He can't even take the first steps of getting counseling, and that's what the judge said. This couple was greatness. This was Black excellence right here. When we talk about Black excellence, this is who you look up. These are the pictures that are on the website as examples of Black excellence. And when it came to a pothole, Justin could not deal. Instead of spending that money to go seek a therapist, he went to go buy a handgun and try to off himself. Way back then. That's what that man was on. Have to be honest, the Roland Martins, his friend. Okay. Whew. It's a lot. But what we're not about to do is sit up here and act like Justin did not have an option. He had an option of how he was going to deal with his whole career going up in smoke right before his eyes. Okay? All right. We're going to go to another video, but I'm going to do it differently because I don't want any situations. Let me see something. It's just a lot, y'all. It's just a whole lot. Okay. This right here is one of Justin's friends. Talked to him up until a couple days before he committed this crime. Okay? So, okay. Y'all ready? Let's go.
I thought the statement put out by DeMatha High School, which is a high school that Justin attended, it's a Catholic high school here in this region, was a good one. That was the Justin we all knew. The guy full of hope and promise and gifts and possibilities for his future. All of that changed in 2019 when Justin was lieutenant governor.
2019. We just saw the video. How did we get here? That was started from 2019. The blackface, being Aladdin from that white guy. Justin was collateral damage. That's what that was in 2019. He was collateral damage. Obviously, Justin wasn't able to bounce back.
The second thing I want to say is Serena Fairfax. Anyone who knew her knew she was an amazing woman.
Serena Fairfax, Dr. Serena Fairfax is his wife, the woman on the picture right beside her husband. Dr. Serena Fairfax already had her life together. This is Black excellence right here on your screen. She stood by her man during that time. Okay, Sophia.
Kind, good, a great dentist, faithful to her patients and her community, and faithful and loyal to her husband at the most difficult and dark moment ever for their marriage and for their family when these allegations about Justin came out in 2019 when he was serving as Virginia's lieutenant governor.
And I'm happy that Sophia's breaking this down for the people who try to get real froggy. She stood by Dr. Fairfax here, Serena, stood by her man when hell was going all over the place in her home. She stood by her man. She stood by him. She could have hightailed up out here in 2019, baby. But she stood by her man at that time. I just want to make sure people understood that before they went in and got froggy. Okay.
Serena didn't deserve her ending. Serena did not deserve what Justin did to her. Those of us who talked to Justin as late as Monday or Tuesday of this week, or were in often contact with him, knew that he was depressed, knew that he was in darkness, knew that he was dealing with everything he had lost, feeling that there was no hope. And all of us tried to encourage him to get help, to get back in the arena.
And that's why I play the video before this one showing that Justin was on a whole lot of bullshit. He used money that was for the household to go buy him a handgun. Yes, he was depressed. Yes, his whole everything that he worked for just went up in smoke in 24 hours. In 2019, we're in 2026. He could not bounce back. Unfortunately, when we hear these two stories about Justin, it seemed like everyone saw hope in Justin but Justin. Everyone saw the light at the tunnel. Everyone saw the silver lining in the cloud except for Justin. He couldn't see it.
And to do something good through all of this, something he called the culture of cruelty, he wasn't able to turn that corner. I think if we're honest, some of us thought Justin could hurt himself because he was so depressed and down. Up until Tuesday of this week, one of the last things Justin said to me was, I need somebody to help me to prove my innocence. I can't get my life back until somebody stands up for me. I had done so in a Washington.
Didn't we just see that? In his own words. We saw Justin say, I did a polygraph test. I want investigations opened up. I want this to prove my innocence, to bring my reputation back into alignment. So up until a couple days before this heinous crime in 2026, Justin was still begging for his people to try to help him clear his name. He was out of office since 2022. 4 years he was out. And he's still begging his frat brothers, his people he knew in the media, all these people to try to help him still clear his name because he was up shit creek. Yes, he was depressed. Yes, he was drinking. I'm surprised he wasn't doing crack. I'm surprised he wasn't on meth, honey. I'm surprised it wasn't a whole kitchen cooking down. Future, Percocet. I'm surprised it wasn't a whole pharmacy up in that mug. I'm shocked that it was only just a little alcohol. Yes, that man was depressed, and the people that he hoped that can help him to rally behind him, they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. Sophia Nelson is almost finished here. If you want to see the full video, it's about 7 minutes long. It's on, I believe, on one of her social medias, and also Roland Martin played the whole thing. So I just clipped out the most important thing was around the facts, because she did put a lot of opinion in there, but I wanted to bring to my channel what are the facts, what can be looked up. Okay. All right, so let's go and finish her out. We got about 28 seconds left of this video.
Post-peace in 2022, but I had done all I could do. Others should have stepped up.
Do you hear that? Others should have stepped up. Let me pull this back again, because this is what I was saying as what she caveat to. Others should have stepped up. Others in the Black community who had a quote unquote power of influence, nowhere to be found.
I can't get my life back until somebody stands up for me. I had done so in a Washington Post piece in 2022, but I had done all I could do. Others should have stepped up.
Who are others? I just want to know. Who are the others? Others should have stepped up. Who? Who are these others? I mean, come on. It is what it is. It is what it is. Others. Roland, Roland about to come up on here and tell us, well, he was on my show and stuff, and blah, 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 and blah, blah. Okay, Roland, thanks a lot, bruh. It wasn't enough, obviously. This woman said, I was all up in the New York Post trying to get my brother to get... Honey, this was never about going into a court of law. This was straight up character assassination, and it worked. It always works. It's politics. It always works in politics. It's still going on. Check out the Eric Schwarwell that I did on my YouTube channel. This is nothing new. This is what the powers that be do. As I said, he had no intentions at all of practicing law. His plan A was to be a politician. He had nothing to fall. He felt that he had nothing else to fall back on. Let's go on to Rollins. Let's go to Rollins.
So I knew both Justin and Serena. I knew Justin more. He'd often been on my show. Justin was an Alpha fraternity brother. He also was a Sigma Pi Phi fraternity. We were in the same chapter, Beta Nu. He obviously came on the TV One show when so remember, he ran for Attorney General in Virginia, lost, got more than 600,000 votes, then ran in 2017 for Lieutenant Governor, shocked folk and won. And I remember national media were not paying any attention to him. And then all of a sudden he won, that everybody wanted him. He came on my show first. He said, you were interviewing me before the rest of them did. And we brought him on. And that was the interview when he came on the show. And he was 48 hours away from becoming governor of Virginia when the blackface scandal regarding Governor Ralph Northam came out. And that's when the sexual assault allegations first dropped, that he had forced a woman to perform oral sex on him. He said it was consensual. And then there was a second allegation that came out of Raleigh, North Carolina.
This brother was on some political greatness right here. He was on a trajectory to go towards the highest office in the land. Right? Let's roll this back one more time. Hold on. Okay. Go ahead, Roland.
Won. And I remember national media were not paying any attention to him. And then all of a sudden he won, that everybody wanted him. He came on my show first. He said, you were interviewing me before the rest of them did. And we brought him on. And that was the interview when he came on the show. And he was 48 hours away from becoming governor of Virginia when the blackguarding came out. And that's when the sexual assault allegations.
And see, We already went through that. Don't say what he talking about. The Aladdin. Yes, that guy. He dressed up as Aladdin in that fashion fair deep foundation, honey. 48 hours. Okay.
First drop, that he had forced a woman to perform oral sex on him, consensual. And then that was a second allegation that came out of Raleigh, North Carolina, when he was a student at Duke. There were never any criminal charges. There was never any civil lawsuit. There were black female DA.
That wasn't the purpose. Civil lawsuits and all this and all that. No, it was not supposed to go that far. The powers that be wanted a smear campaign. And the women that they found helped with that. Yes, one lady, there were snotting, there were tears, and all that. Till that day, there has been nothing criminal that was filed. So that was never. And I think there's a statute of limitations to that. I do believe. So that was never going to happen. This was a smear campaign on that man's name, and it worked. And Roland's about to address that too. Okay.
In Boston and Raleigh who said, if a criminal complaint is filed, we will fully investigate it. That never happened. So one of the things that Justin could not let go of, he felt there was never any due process. I can tell you, he came on this show to talk about it. He talked about it personally. I look back at the text messages. We last texted March of last year.
March of last year was the last text message, Roland. So, as what we saw with Sophia Nelson said, as of he just needed the people to help clear his name. And Sophia said that there are others who should have done more. Is Roland the others? Is Roland the others? I want to know, who are these others, Sophia? Who are these others, girl? I just want to know, because that's one thing about it is he Justin needed some white folks or somebody to to really be pounding the pavement. However, them white folks like, hey, we trying to get our guys back in. Okay, we have our own men who have been ousted with these binder full of women. Our hands are full with our own people. Where's your Roland Martins at? Okay, who are these others? Oh, okay. Let's finish up with Roland. We have about 52 seconds.
Sophia laid out the pain, the burden, the anger that he had because he couldn't prove his innocence. He wasn't found guilty. Law firm that he worked with fired him. Could not get hired anywhere else. And so even when he leaves, he ran for governor in 2021, came in fourth place in Democratic primary. Here he is, his wife, an accomplished dentist, professional in her own right. Again, you see these two, you're thinking happy couple. But everything that transpired from 2019, it was, as Sophia said, it was as if it got darker and darker and darker and darker. I talked to people today who absolutely tried to help.
Okay, yes, it sure did. It did get darker and darker and darker and darker. Almost as dark as that fashion fair that governor had on his skin. Okay, that was started off. Now, that timeline was very important for people to put into perspective as of how long Dr. Serena Fairfax tried to help her husband come out of this depression. The man was fired from some type of law firm that he was at. Fired probably because of these allegations. It looks bad. It looks bad. Yes, it always looks bad. Always. That was not going to change. Unfortunately, you had a man who's been told for years you are that guy. Nothing can get in your way for this greatness. Nothing. Everybody wanted him to be at their dinner table. Everyone wanted to interview him. I'm pretty sure he did a whole lot of favors for a whole lot of people. And when it was time for someone to do a favor for him to try to clear his name, he probably couldn't find anybody. He probably reached out again to Roland Martin. Roland probably didn't even respond, honey. Talking about, my last text message was on Marshall last year from him. And I believe Serena tried to get him, Roland, to do some type of speaking engagement September of last year. And she sent him some stuff. He didn't respond back to none of that either. So yes, there was a lot of no one's there to help him. And he couldn't take it. It's amazing you have all these groups of people and part of organizations, but when it's time to do the work, when it's time to try to help a fellow brother out, they were nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. Let's go ahead and go into this last video here, which is the police statement. And this is very important to see the mindset of this man, head nigga in charge, who could not take falling from grace to where he pretty much got down to just flat out lying. For some reason, his wife was the enemy. How that happened? Yeah, and we about to stop the video once we get to the part that backs up what I just said. As of now, all of a sudden, his wife is the enemy. Okay, let's get to this police statement.
To confirm the identity of our shooter in this murder-suicide that happened several hours ago as former Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax. Former Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax shot and killed his wife inside of their home and then shot and killed himself. I think you have the rest of the details that Captain Cosgriff gave earlier this morning, so I'm just going to pause right here and answer any of your questions to the best of my ability right now. I can just tell you, and then I'll go to Drew first, that this has been an ongoing domestic dispute surrounding what seems to be a complicated or messy divorce. So, Drew.
And Chief, that was going to be my question. Can you elaborate on what the investigation has revealed about the status of their marriage? Of course, the kids are what everybody's thinking about, I think, too, in this as well.
So far, what we know is probably what you all know, and I don't think it's a secret that there's been divorce proceedings that have been ongoing. From what I understand at this early stage, former Lieutenant Governor Fairfax was recently served some paperwork associated with an upcoming court proceeding that apparently led to this incident last night. Both of their children, teenagers, the boys older than the girl, were in the house when it happened. So that's horrible news for the family. Certainly a traumatic event for those children to live through. But we know that it all kind of culminated last night when Justin Fairfax shot several times, killed his wife, ran to a different part of the home, and then killed himself with the same firearm.
I know you just got on scene, but what do you know about the scene inside?
So it seems like, and I know I'm competing with some school buses here. It seems like the murder took place in the basement. It's described to me as a unfinished basement in the home. At some point after Justin shot and killed his wife, he runs upstairs in the home and into the primary bedroom, apparently, and shoots and kills himself.
Have you had any previous domestic calls to this location?
So we checked on that. The question is, have we had any previous domestic or calls for service to this location? In January of this year, Mr. Fairfax calls the police and alleges that his wife assaulted him. We responded to that scene. There are several cameras set up inside the house. Apparently, Mrs. Fairfax, at some point during these divorce proceedings, set up a lot of cameras inside the home. We reviewed those cameras, and we corroborated that the alleged assault never occurred. So there was no arrest made, there was a report written, but the allegation that Mr. Fairfax made in January that Mrs. Fairfax assaulted him was proven to be.
Dr. Serena Fairfax said, this man's trying to ruin my motherfucking career, bitch. That's what that was. Dr. Fairfax put cameras around the home because that man was trying to claim she was laying hands and feet on him. That's when I said, oh. So he's trying to say, oh, since my career ain't shit, then yours ain't going to be either. Do you know how that looks for a doctor that you are being accused of domestic violence? A person, a upstanding person in the community now. These ain't no riffraffs. This is black excellence you have on your screen right here. And he's like, oh, you gonna think you gonna be walking around here and I'm over here assed out? No. That woman said, oh, this man trying to take my career away from me. This man is trying to do blah, blah, blah. I have to put cameras up in my home to protect myself, to protect my career, to protect my reputation. This man tried to accuse me of laying hands and feet. That's how the police knew he ran to the other room. Did you hear that? As they said, well, after shooting the wife, he ran to the other part of the house. How did he know? How did the police know that he ran already? Because they got access to the videotape. The children that was talked about are both in high school. So I'm pretty sure that they knew how to gain access to probably their mother's phone or whatever device that also have, because if you have a Ring camera like I do, I have the Ring system all over my home. So yeah, I can access the app is an app from my cell phone and run those videos back. Or you can look at it on the website. So there's different ways to gain access to the footage. And that woman felt this man is a dangerous liar. It only takes one time. And she put cameras in that home to catch footage of showing that she did not lay hands and feet on that man. Or they would have had her in handcuffs, honey, if she was laying in on him. That told me all I needed to know regarding this man. As if he was like, I'm going to try to snatch your career. Because he knew what accusations would do to a person's career. Because it happened to him. So he was going to turn around and lie on his wife. On some domestic violence stuff. And obviously it wasn't the first time. She probably, he got me on that first one though. He almost got me on that first one. By the grace of God. So this next go around, I'm gonna make sure I put cameras all throughout my house. That's what the police just said. Cameras were placed all throughout the house. Because that man tried to take down that woman's career. Because he had no career over accusations. Okay, let's finish this up. We don't got that much long.
Was proven to be untrue.
Well,
Certainly this is a high-profile family. At one point in time, I think it's fair to say that Justin Fairfax, before he was lieutenant governor, while he served as lieutenant governor, and even afterwards, was a rising star politically, not just in Northern Virginia, but in Virginia.
Listen, this police officer, this captain of the police is telling you to run down on this black excellence right here. Let's roll it back. He's telling y'all of the black excellence that was going through that home as a whole white man, a whole chief of police, or whatever his title is. No media cars needed. Everyone who knew who Justin Fairfax was. This policeman is giving you straight up, this was black excellence up in here. Let's hear it again.
At one point in time, I think it's fair to say that Justin Fairfax, before he was lieutenant governor, while he served as lieutenant governor, and even afterwards, was a rising star politically, not just in Northern Virginia, but in Virginia. So it's high profile in nature, it's tragic in nature, certainly a fall from grace for a relatively high profile family that seemingly had a lot of things going in their favor. So tragic for the children to lose both parents. Extra tragic for them to actually be in the home when it occurred. So yeah, there's a lot going on, and our victim services division, like they always do, is leaning into the family, the surviving relatives, the children in particular, and we'll do everything we can for that. Our detectives have gathered that. Certainly, there's enough cameras inside the home that we're able to corroborate some of that. But one of the children was the 911 caller just after midnight. So he described some things to us as well that we've since corroborated. And I think I heard one question about what do we know about the gun. I don't know anything about the gun yet.
We heard enough about it. Hold on, he about to say
Same gun
something.
that Mr. Fairfax used to kill his wife seems to be the same gun that he used to kill himself.
Okay, yes. So I'm pretty sure that probably was maybe the same gun that he used the horseback riding money to go purchase, because at one point he was going to take himself out. Remember, we went through that video already. Because I have to do it this way, because black folk, I don't know nothing. I didn't hear nothing. What Roland didn't say. I didn't hear nothing about no him. Yes, you did, because I'm the one who played the video. So stop it. This is what we're on. This man tried to use the same old tactics of accusations to try to snatch that woman's reputation and career away from her. And you heard him say, the police officer say again, that there are multiple cameras in the home. There's multiple cameras in the home. I bet you there was multiple cameras in that home that caught that murder on camera. I bet you it was. I bet you it was. That woman was trying to protect herself with video evidence. Obviously trying to protect her reputation, because she saw, oh yeah, he on some he said she said stuff. I'm gonna have to protect myself and make sure I got all these cameras up in this house, because this man is trying to take me down with him. Yes, that is what that man was on during the last few years of his life. He was sitting there doing whatever drug or choice that he was doing, drinking or whatever. He was sitting there like, this woman is about to divorce me. I don't have no money. I have no. Here's the thing. He has somewhere to go. Let's be clear. Both of these people on your screen here have parents. Those children will be well taken care of when it comes to the support system, honey. They got grandparents on both sides of their family alive. These are high school age kids. They are in high school. So yes, as a support system, baby, that on lock. The support system is strong when it comes to those children. Okay? Now when it comes to anything can make a person snap. So as of those divorce those papers that were served on him pertaining to the divorce or whatever, I believe it's probably a reminder of he needed to make sure he vacates the home. As I'm about to say, as of he always have somewhere to go, he go back live with his parents or whomever. So it's not like he ain't had nowhere to go. He fall from grace. His career was snuffed out. He couldn't bounce back. And now his family's about to be gone. The home that he helped purchase, the home that his little money from the lieutenant governor went all up through there. Yes, he was going to have to vacate the premises. So everything was being snatched away. And it only came out because that start of that whole blackface, the Aladdin, that fashion film, Deep Collection. Yes. Yes. So I say all that to say there needs to be what can we really do other than saying as adults you need to make sure you have a plan B, C, all the way through Z. I always thought that it was common sense that you always going to have some type of backup plan when dealing in politics. Unfortunately, this 47-year-old man, which is extremely young for politics, was caught up in someone else's bullshit. Do I believe the women? I I believe the women, and I believe him too. Two things can be correct. I do believe that they saw this shining, this man who's going somewhere, and oh girl. And when he didn't call back the first one, remember in the video, um, she asked him, as you want to meet my parents, baby. He was like, "Girl, this was a one night stand." And which I said because he didn't respond. She was left on red. You know how the young people. Oh, she was left on red. She's like, "Meet your parents. We ain't together." It's like the player, um, era just caught up with him. Unfortunately, it caught up with him. Obviously, these were not women that he dated. These are women that were, they felt discarded, obviously, when he was younger, and they brought it back up 20 some years later. All right, y'all. Make sure y'all let your sons and stuff know that if you try to run for office, you need to make sure you dot your I's and cross your T's. Cause it don't matter. You in politics. It done happened if it was 99 years ago. It will come back and haunt you. It will take you down. Let this Justin Fairfax situation be an example of when the head nigga in charge, when they take a tumble, some of them cannot bounce back. Some of them do not understand the power of therapy. Some people feel that they are untouchable because they were told that they were untouchable ever since they were 20 something years old. And when that fall from grace hits, it's like a tsunami. You know what they say. When everyone gets, a slight little cold, the black community catches a flu. And that's what happened over here with Justin Fairfax. Justin caught the flu. He couldn't bounce back. Prayer for the children. Prayer for the family and friends who did try to help Justin, but Justin just couldn't help himself.